Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table Enabled. It's a little cold outside, so I got my new scarf over here. It's not even real cashmere; it's cashmere feel. $12 on Amazon. It's a nice scarf. So a little winter look over here to believe because people don't believe there's actually winter here in Israel. In fact, until this week, it was the driest winter in 60 years. But a couple days ago, it started raining and the forecast has it raining for another week straight every day. So, kind of inclement weather over here. Kofsadi, hey, 195. Chaburo she'ochlim. It's not like New York, It's like 50 degrees there. It's not like 0 degrees some days. I don't know. Right about New York City, also, they haven't had snow this entire winter. Hasn't happened in 50 years. All right. Chaburo she'ochlim b'harbim makomos madinam kimol sifim. The last simon in this week. Aleph shtei chaburo she'ochlos v'bayis echad. Shnei batim. They're eating together, two groups of people. Imagine like a wedding or something like that, or a Shabbat brachos or something like that. They're eating at two different tables, right? Not always you have one table. You have two or three different tables, either in one house or they're actually in two different houses. So you go to a fancy restaurant, they close off one room. They mix us and Roma elu as elu. If at least one person of the first group and one person in the second group could see each other, it's for the zimun. They can join together for a zimun. Either if you had, right, let's say a group of two and a group of two, you can make four, or you have a group of seven, you can make 14, which would be saying the shame Hashem. If they can't see each other, they're not mitzaref. If there's a waiter, they can't see each other, but there's the same waiter services both of them. Even though he doesn't eat with them, he joins them together. As long as when they came in, they had in mind to be part of the same party, right? They're going to the same Shabbat brachos, right? Which is normally the case, right? Unless you go to a restaurant and, you see someone at a different table that you're friends and you didn't know they were going to be at the restaurant, right? So you didn't intend to be with them. So then it's machlokas, right? The Mishnah Berurah quotes, what if you're in the same room, but you didn't intend to sit down together, but you see each other and you have a shamish? So that's a machlokas, right? You see each other and you have a shamish, right? Or one or the other, and you're in the same room. So could you join together or not? So that actually is a machlokas. And the Mishnah Berurah decides, like the Gra, that in one room, if you see each other, or there's a shamish, even if you don't see each other, it's joining you together. You can join together even if you didn't enter to eat together. There is an opinion, Rabbeinu Yonah, that if you have two different houses, right, and there's a public street, it doesn't have to be Ted Zion Amos, even a public street that divides between you, even if you can see through the window, you can see them, or you have a waiter that joins you together, you can't be joined together because the Rosh Hashanah separates you. I don't know the source for this Rabbeinu. I don't know what it has to do. Why is he bringing Rosh Hashanah to Hilchos Brachos over here? But I guess there are people that are choshish for this Rabbeinu Yonah. Shulchan Aruch brings it. I guess you shouldn't be mitzdaref. Beis alkol miksas and rabayis and miksas and chutz labayis. Some people are eating outside the house, some people inside the house. They can't see each other. They don't have a common waiter. However, the person who is making the bracha, who's making the zimun, he is sitting in the doorway, and he can see both of them. So the fact that he can see both of them, he's able to join them and be motzi them in Berkas Hamazon. Gimel, the Bayor, right? A zimun means that one person's leading the zimun for both of the chaburos, both of the groups. So they have to hear the zimun, right? We're going to see coming up in Siman Reish, it's a machlokas. Next week we'll see a machlokas in the Mechaber and the Ramam. The Mechaber says, and the Ramam, the Mechaber says that all you have to do is just before, right? I always forget it. About sign of a reich, right? That's until then. Until the end of that, that's all you need for the zim. That's all he has to hear. According to the Ramah, we pass like you have to hear until the end of the first bracha. So if you want to be Yotze with someone else's zimun, you have to be able to hear. At least we pass at the end of the first bracha. Haga, the rest of it you don't have to hear from. You can make it yourself. If you want to be Yotze, which is the ideal way, according to the Mishnah Berurah and according to most poskim, the ideal way to do zimun is for one person to bench and be motzi everybody else in benching, right? So you have to, if he's going to be motzi you in benching, you have to hear explicitly from his mouth. Some poskim say you even have to understand exactly the words, but we possibly don't have to as long as it's lashon hakodesh. So therefore, if you want to be yotze the most lechatchila way, you have to be able to hear every word from the mizamin. If you can't hear a word, then you shouldn't be yotze with him. You should say it yourself. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for a very fundamental Ian to lean on, right? Talk about what the nature of zimun is. What are you doing, right? What is zimun? Is zimun some, getting together and you're thanking Hashem in an extraordinary way? Hashem gave you not only the food that you need, but also the company that you need, and you're thanking Hashem for that? Or does it sound like the word zimun, which is hazmana, right? To prepare yourself for benching. What does it have to do with eating with 3 people, 10 people? We'll talk about that. Ian to lean on coming up next.